There's a lot going on in the country, but that is why we report and let you decide. Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1, bringing you the news from the news desk. I am Sandro Satyajit. First, let's have a look at your headlines. Fuel prices reduced with effect from midnight. Petroleum trade unions continue strike. Military and police deployed to distribute fuel. 20 petroleum workers sent on compulsory leave. Trade Minister says certificates to release Indian eggs from the port will be issued today. Northwest Senior DIG Lalit Patinayaka transferred. Tens of thousands of Israelis have shut down Tel Aviv in an escalation of protests. And now on to your news in detail. Sri Lanka will revise fuel prices with effect from Wednesday night on the instructions of the President. Now the announcement was made by Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara in Colombo.
මිල සූත්‍රය අනුව පෙට්‍රල් 92 ලීටරය රුපියල් 60කින් අඩු කිරීම සඳහා
As per the fuel price formula, petrol 92 will be reduced by 60 rupees and the new price will be 340 rupees. Lanka auto diesel will be reduced by 80 rupees and the new price will be 325 rupees. Petrol 95 will be reduced by 135 rupees and the new price will be 375 rupees. Super diesel will be reduced by 45 rupees and the new price will be 465 rupees. Kerosene will be reduced by 10 rupees and the new price will be 295 rupees. As Finance Minister, the President has granted approval for this.
භූමිතෙල් ලීටරයක් රුපියල් 295 දක්වා පහත හෙලන්න අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා මුදල් අමාත්‍යවරයා හැටියට මට ඒ අනුමැතිය ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා.
The strike launched by petroleum workers against attempts to privatize the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation continued for the second day. Now, Newsfirst correspondents said that fuel bowsers were being dispatched from the CPC Colonnawa terminal on Tuesday night, with the intervention of the Sri Lanka Police Special Task Force and military.
The Petroleum Trade Union Collective launched a Satyagraha campaign on Monday opposite the Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited in Colonnawa against attempts to privatize the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. Following a meeting on Tuesday morning, it was converted into a strike. Therefore, many fuel bowsers that visited the CPSTL were turned back. Sri Lanka's Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara said that fuel distribution commenced at Colonnawa and Muthurajawala terminals at 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning. He said that Sri Lanka Police and Armed Forces will continue to assist the fuel distribution process. The minister said that adequate fuel stocks are available in the country. He added that it was noticed that some fuel stations had not placed orders anticipating the April price revision and request the fuel station operators to place their orders accordingly and maintain the minimum stocks required. Vehicles were seen lined up leading to filling stations across many areas in the country. This was the situation at fuel stations in Kandy this morning. A similar situation was seen at fuel stations in Kurunegala this morning. According to our correspondent, fuel stations in Kurunegala did not have fuel. This was the situation at fuel stations in Anuradhapura this morning. Long queues were seen near IOC fuel stations in Badulla and Haliyala this morning. Long queues were seen at fuel stations in many areas across the country today.
The Sri Lanka Petroleum Private Tanker Owners Association said it would be able to deliver fuel to filling stations by Wednesday evening.
All our tankers reported to work at 6 a.m. and the distribution commenced from 6 a.m. Congestion at filling stations will ease by evening. Fuel tankers will be deployed to other areas by noon, and the congestion in those areas will ease by tomorrow morning. If the orders are placed accordingly, the congestion will ease by evening or tomorrow.
ඇනුම් ලබා දුන්නොත් ඒ සියලුම ඉන්ධන පිරුම් මල්ලට ඉන්ධන යැවීම තුලින් යම් තදබදයක් ඇති වෙනවා නම් ඒ තදබදය සම්පූර්ණයෙන් පහව යන්න පුළුවන් හෙට උදේ වරු වෙනවා.
Filling Station Owners Association says there is no shortage of fuel in the country.
Stocks of fuel sufficient for 2 days was available at every filling station. However, with the public panicking last night, fuel stations started distributing fuel. As a result, in many fuel stations, petrol and diesel stocks were not available this morning. Despite the ongoing strike, the fuel distribution is taking place as usual. Fuel is being received by filling stations in Colombo and urban areas. Petroleum trade unions say they will continue their strike until their demands are met.
Fuel was not issued from fuel storages in Muthurajavala and Sapugaskanda from 1 p.m. yesterday until this morning. Last night, police have forcibly taken 2 employees at the fuel storage to work. At that moment, those 2 employees were intoxicated after work. We express our displeasure over this move. Today, we hope that the Energy Minister or any responsible government official would discuss and provide a solution to these issues. Minister Kanchana, including the Cabinet of Ministers, have taken steps to sell the CPC piece by piece. The Cabinet paper regarding the sale has also been presented. We started a fast against this instead of a strike to prevent the inconvenience caused to consumers in the country. We started the fast when this cabinet paper was introduced on the 27th. We believe that the minister would reverse his decision. By noon on the 28th, all employees came to the fast and said that there will be a problem with the trade union leaders and reiterated that they will join any trade union action to stop this. We did not create this energy issue. Trade unions did not create a shortage of fuel in the country. Minister Kanchana must take full responsibility.
Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Vijayasekara said that 20 petroleum workers, including trade union leaders, were sent on compulsory leave. On Tuesday, the fast was a failure. Only trade union leaders were present for the fast. During the lunch hour, they entered the premises under the influence of alcohol and threatened the employees and took measures to withdraw them from their duties. On Tuesday night, due to this action, workers were intimidated to report to work. Therefore, we sought protection from the police and military. The employees worked at night under police and military protection. We are informed that they were prepared to stop those employees who are reporting to work. The President and I discussed the matter. As the Minister, I instructed them to take the necessary disciplinary measures against those who acted to sabotage the process. In addition, I instructed them to take necessary legal action in the future. On Wednesday morning, so-called trade union leaders and several saboteurs totaling 20 people were sent on compulsory leave. They were prohibited from entering the premises. In addition, some are retired and working on political agendas to engage in acts of sabotage. We have called for an investigation to determine how they entered the premises. We will not allow them to create an era of fuel queues again in the country.
Bandula Saman Kumar is leading the strike. He represents the SLPP. His argument is that the SLPP manifesto is not being enacted by you as a party representative.
That is wrong. This cabinet paper was presented by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. I also represent the SLPP. Therefore, this was a cabinet proposal that was presented before Ranil Wickremesinghe took office. That is being implemented by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The priority is to ensure that all matters are efficient. The SLPP policy is to provide the services to the public.
Another matter they raise is the lack of transparency as information comes from your tweets.
I do not speak all the time with the trade unions when it comes to policy decisions and evaluations. The BOI, Finance Ministry, the Central Bank, the CPC and other stakeholders engage in that process. If we allow the trade unions to do that, Sri Lanka will not have a future. There is no transparency in this mechanism. There is no method. They made this decision without deciding on the fuel supply to the filling stations. The international community is saying that there is corruption here. There was a statement issued by the United Nations Convention. Corrupt politicians have allowed for companies that used to launder money to engage in more corruption. That is what was revealed to us through these three companies. We only know about Sinopec. Sinopec was brought into prominence by the rulers. Money that was stolen from us is invested here. Reveal the methodology that was used to select these companies. Who are the Sri Lankan agents of the selected companies? Who are the board of directors and operations officers in those companies? Reveal the assets.
ලංකාවේ නියෝජිතව කවුද? ඒකේ තියෙන සම්මිලන ඒක අධ්‍යක්ෂ මණ්ඩල සහ මෙහෙයුම් මණ්ඩල මොනවද? ඒ වස්කම් අපිට හෙළි කරන්න.
Organizing Secretary of the Frontline Socialist Party, Dumind Nagamur, made a revelation yesterday regarding another crisis the country would have to face, in addition to the privatization of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation.
Multinational companies are coming to purchase shares of the CPC. This is not the crisis. We will reveal the second crisis. We obtained these loans from India during the crisis. What is India demanding? They want four things. They want Sri Lanka to come to a policy where Sri Lanka would use the Indian rupee when engaging in trading with India. They are preparing for that. Second, India wants the east terminal of the Colombo port. One could wonder, why does India want the east terminal? There is a reason for that. Ports in India can't work for 12 months. Every port in India gets filled with sand after operating for 6 months. What is the third proposal? India wants a bridge between Dhanushkodi and Mannar. There is a folk tale in the Ramayana about a bridge built by Rama. They are proposing to build that bridge. Their third proposal is to connect India and Sri Lanka. The fourth proposal is to merge the electricity network of India and Sri Lanka. In the 80s, the Indian military came here. Today they are approaching in a much more organized manner. We must be organized to face these problems. If we are to get out of this crisis, we must not wait for an election. If we do so, we will lose.
News First with the people.
And now in other news, Minister of Trade, Commerce and Food Safety, Nalin Fernando, says that he expects to receive the certificates required to release the eggs imported from India from the port today.
The Sri Lanka State Trading Corporation has informed me that both certifications will be issued today. I believe that if we receive that today, we will be able to release the eggs from the port by tonight. There is no issue in expiry because they are all refrigerated. There is no such issue. We will anyway be handing over these eggs to industries. They know how to assess the quality and to use it. Meanwhile, we have also requested approval for liquid eggs as well for industries. The Minister of Agriculture stated that the eggs imported from India have been approved by the Department of Animal Production and Health. The Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, Gunadasa Samarasinghe, has stated that the relevant report will be forwarded to the Ministry of Trade today.
The Association of Small and Medium-Scale Egg Producers, convening a media briefing, says eggs imported from India are spoilt by the time they reach producers and consumers. 2 million eggs were imported to the country. If eggs are kept in India for 5 days, they are stored for 4 days in Sri Lanka. So it stays up to 12 days. Usually eggs have 21 days until they turn bad. Once the consumers purchase that egg, after that many days, the eggs lose the nutritional value. There is no solution to the egg shortage as well. The eggs will have to be thrown out. They did not import 2 million eggs out of the love they had for the country or the people. They wanted to get commissions out of it to fill their own pockets. Soon people will beat you on the streets because of this. In other news, the farming community continues to be battered by many economic issues. Now, without a proper price for their harvest, farmers in the Rajangane settlement continue to face difficulties. Close to 15,000 farming families in the Rajangane settlement are severely inconvenienced as a proper price for their harvest has not been introduced. As a result, stocks of paddy have been accumulating in their homes. Their only demand is a proper price for the paddy harvest. Leader of the Janaseta Peramala, Venerable Bathurumulle Silaratana Thero, convened a media briefing in Kokmaduwa, Mathara, expressed the following views with regard to the IMF facility. Once the money received from the IMF is used to pay salaries of government servants, there will be nothing else left. This loan should be allocated for the development of the country. We are in debt to everyone. During Mahinda Rajapaksa's tenure, neither did any of them contribute towards the development of the country. They also did not let the people in the country lead a good life. In some tragic news, a wildlife officer attached to the Reticular Wildlife Office died during an operation carried out to drive away a wild elephant from Galimbidu.
A herd of wild elephants that entered the Dik River area in Galimbidu on Tuesday morning destroyed many crops in the area. Forest officers, police and civil defense officers began an operation to drive away the herd of more than 50 elephants, including 3 tuskers that destroyed the cultivations in many villages of the Amba Colony, Kuhunagala Colony and Padikara Maduwa areas. An officer of the Reticular Wildlife Office, PBJ Vijay Kohn, also participated in this operation. Vijay Kohn was attacked by a wild elephant during the operation and was seriously injured and hospitalized. Newsfirst correspondent said that he passed away upon admission to the Huruluvawa Yakalla hospital. Another wildlife officer who was injured during the wild elephant attack was admitted to the Anuradhapura teaching hospital for further treatment. The body of PBJ Vijay Kohn, who was killed in the wild elephant attack, has now been brought to his residence.
Another phase of the LOLC Divisavya program, a community upliftment initiative aiming to empower our own citizens, took place centering the Kandy district. Now today's program centered around the Matale district.
A Divisavya program took place at the Gullyville Education Zone in Navula in the Matale district. Students from the Alakulavava Primary School in Dambulla received school books and stationery via the Divisavya program. In addition, students from the Madawala Ulpata Dimbulgamu Primary School also received school books and stationery via the Divisavya program. Exercise books and other stationery are being distributed among school children from economically challenged families under the Divisavya program. This word initiative is a collaboration between the LOLC group and the Ministry of Education.
Now that was the LOLC Divisavya program that took place in the Matale district. On to other news now. 5 senior police officers, including the senior DIG in charge of the North-Western Province, Lalit Patinayaka, have been transferred with immediate effect. Police spokesperson SSP Nihal Thalduwa stated that the Puttalam DIG, Puttalam SSP, Puttalam SP and Anamadua OIC have been transferred. The senior DIG Lalit Patinayaka has been transferred to the police headquarters. The other officers have been transferred to the police field force headquarters rather. Sajiva Madhavatta was appointed as the acting DIG for the North-Western Province. And now in other news, performances held in line with Francophonie 2023 was held at the University of Peradeniya.
The Embassy of Switzerland to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, together with the organization International de la Francophonie, celebrates Francophonie 2023, featuring Les Monsieur Monsieur, the famed duo Laurent Brunetti and Mario Pacchioli from Switzerland. The third performance, held in line with Francophonie 2023, was held at the University of Peradeniya yesterday.
Francophonie is an institution talking about the French language, of people who use French language. And we try to make people aware of this special community of French, which is a big community because it encompasses about 890 million people around the world. Here in Sri Lanka, we decided to bring one group from Switzerland to show not only the French language in Switzerland, but to show also the multicultural aspect of Switzerland, since we have 4 different languages.
And the main objective of this cultural performance is to share the Switzerland culture and Sri Lanka culture together. So we actually proud to be here as scholars and audience to get their experience.
On to news overseas now, making headlines throughout the past few weeks. According to Israeli police quoted by local media, 3 people have been arrested as part of an ongoing probe after far-right groups were filmed attacking Palestinian citizens of Israel who were passing by a pro-government protest in Jerusalem.
Reporters say that one man was savagely beaten during the attacks on Monday evening at the end of a day of a nationwide protest against government plans to alter Israel's judiciary. Hundreds of thousands of people took to the streets starting on Sunday night and continued on Monday amid a general strike. Pro-government demonstrations also rallied in various parts of the country before Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced the postponement of the move. The largest protests by both camps took place in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, promoting fears of possible violence between the two sides. Reports and videos shared on social media suggested that right-wing protesters in Jerusalem accosted Palestinian passers-by and drivers during their rallies. Israeli media also reported that people who were attacked, including a taxi driver near a petrol station and a youth walking by the protest. A video shared on social media showed a large crowd of what seems to be demonstrators and security forces rushing into a petrol station in Jerusalem.
That's all the news for now. To stay updated with the latest, visit our social media pages and keep up with the latest. Bringing you the news from the news desk, I am Sandro Satyajit signing off. Have a beautiful day.
ඇත්ත කෙටියෙන් දත්ත වැඩියෙන් සයිබර් අවකාශයේ කළඹන වුවත් සලකුණ News First YouTube channel අදම subscribe කරන්න. News First ජනතාව සමග.
News First News Alert ඔබේ ජංගම දුරකථනයටත් ඔබ ඩයිලොග් පාරිභෝගිකයෙක් නම් English Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NFU ලෙසත් Singlish Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NUS ලෙසත් Tanglish Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NAT ලෙසත් ටයිප් කර IC 78ට